Oh my God, do. Somebody please say it ain't so. It's looking like Karmelo Anthony may never be getting out of jail. They just found out some things about him that are sickening. For all the people that was rooting for him to come home, you might want to think twice, or you might want to hear this before you decide on if you want this man back out there in society. Some people are truly sick, some people are twisted, some people are just flat out crazy. We're about to get into this news, but before we do, make sure y'all do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel.
Yeah, John, today we are hearing a lot of new evidence that was never made public during the trial, including details of what investigators found on Karmelo Anthony's phone and why it is that they believe he took a knife to this track meet last year in April. During opening statements, prosecutors revealed Anthony had a documented pattern of obsession with knives and guns.
What?
In one text message, Anthony allegedly fantasized about stabbing someone, writing, "When I stab somebody, I'm gonna lick their blood off the blade."
Convicted killer Karmelo Anthony's family used fundraiser money for moving and living expenses. So I don't know if they wanted them to donate the money, but they took all that cash. All the while, a fundraiser for Anthony and his family, titled Help Karmelo Official Fund, initially had a goal of generating nearly $1.4 million and raised just shy of $634,000 and counting. They're trying to put that GoFundMe back on with this new trial. But after hearing this, I don't think nobody want to participate in letting this man free.
Prosecutors say they also have numerous examples of Anthony's desire to start fights and to be in fights, and they argue that's what he went to the track meet to do that day. The reason none of that came out at trial is that the defense and prosecution had what they're describing as a gentleman's agreement, an off-the-record understanding that neither side would go into character evidence, including allegations of violence and bullying by Austin Metcalf. Instead, both sides would focus on what happened under the tent the day of the stabbing. The defense now argues that Anthony chose not to testify in his own defense because at the last minute of the trial, prosecutors reversed course and told them if Anthony takes the stand, it would violate their agreement and open the door to all of those character issues being brought out. That agreement is a key part of the defense's argument as to why it is that Anthony deserves a new trial.
That mean that the Metcalf boy had secrets too that they didn't want the public to know. They had evidence of him being a bully, possibly other things about his character that they didn't wish to disclose. So they figured we got some dirt on Karmelo, but we also got some dirt on Austin. And to avoid putting that dirt on Austin, we gotta avoid putting that dirt on Karmelo. Let's just focus on the tent. Now they're trying to do a retrial and all this stuff is off the table. Now the world know about his sadistic, twisted thoughts, his dreams of stabbing people and licking their blood. What was he into? What was he watching? Matter of fact, we got a little bit of time. Y'all hold up. Let me get this together real quick. Because your kids are not safe. You gotta watch what they doing. Because your kids listening to people that don't even have their own best interests at heart. He look like he eat everything. There's nothing that he won't eat with a face like that. Somebody told him he would have a handsome chin or whatever the case. He looking like Frankenstein, looking Swamp Thing, every monster from the early 70s and late 80s. He looked terrible. I'm pretty sure that Karmelo was a fan of this man. And that's the reason why. Hold up. Shoot, little mommy vert.
A lot more about through the rest of today and possibly into tomorrow. John?
I would assume if he gets a new trial, all of the stuff that was presented in court today would probably be admissible, yeah?
Yeah, it absolutely. Prosecutors have already said that's part of the reason both sides agreed to this deal is because they didn't want to further enrage this public debate that was happening outside, where this was really, they felt, throwing gas onto an already big fire if they brought out a lot of these character attacks. Of course, going forward to the next trial, that agreement would not be in place, and all of this would be fair game. Prosecutors have said they would have brought all of this up if it weren't for that agreement.
I know people been talking about self-defense for a long time, but there's different ways you can defend yourself. You don't have to pull a butcher knife out of bag. You could throw them hands, and if you lose, you lose. If you lose, you lose. Or avoid confrontation altogether, especially if it resorts to death. But to hear that he was plotting and planning and wishing and hoping, touch me and find out. They should have moved their whole family to the Wishing Nigga Woods. Now he in jail, where a lot of people feel like he don't belong. And I'm not gonna speak on it too tough because people look for reasons to be angered and be triggered and to be mad or he said something I ain't liking. People just miserable. Especially when it comes to situations like this. When it's not a laughing matter. People get real serious about stuff like this. They turn into activists with this type of news when the truth of the matter is if you kill somebody, there's a possibility your ass gonna go to jail, especially your black ass is going to go to jail. And it ain't right because when anybody kill anybody, they need to go to jail. I agree with that. Everybody need to do their time for the crimes. It shouldn't just be Karmelo. We need to see this happening all across the country with all people. That's why we waiting to see what happened with the Nolan Wells situation because he needs justice. Where's that? We still waiting on it. Austin got justice. Now it's time for Nolan to get justice.
Of Texas, we see what happened with Carmelo Anthony, and you said it was a tragedy.
Yeah.
What did you mean by that?
Well, I've done a lot of work in the State House on justice reform, and right now we've got a system that doesn't serve all Americans equally, and we know that Black Texans have been have not gotten the justice they deserve in many cases. And you know, I'm not an expert on this particular case, but I know that there were no Black members of the jury, and to me, that's the only evidence you need to really prove that this system is not working for Black Texans.
Right now, Carmelo Anthony's new legal team is trying to get his murder conviction thrown out because they say that too much of the first trial happened off the record. Anthony is serving 35 years for killing Austin Metcalf during a Frisco ISD track meet last year, but his attorneys want a new trial. Real quick, my name is Janelle Fort, and I'm a journalist based in Dallas. Anthony's attorneys have spent the majority of the morning telling a new judge that some pretty important decisions during the first trial happened behind the scenes. His attorney actually accused the former judge of running what he called a, quote, shadow docket. One of the biggest issues they brought up is courtroom access, which we know has been heavily restricted. The defense says once the overflow courtroom went away, some members of the public were shut out, and there wasn't enough explanation on the record for why. Then there's also this so-called gentleman's agreement. Both sides had agreed to keep certain character evidence about Anthony and Metcalf out of the trial. The defense says that agreement broke down and that played a role in Anthony ultimately deciding not to testify. Prosecutors are pushing back hard. They say Anthony's original attorneys agreed to those arrangements and that this case came with an extraordinary security situation and a ton of outside pressure. Now, for some context, new trials aren't granted very often here in Texas. So Anthony's attorneys don't just have to show that things got messy. They have to convince this judge that what happened was serious enough that that conviction should be overturned.
So when two goofies get into a conflict, all hell can break loose. They're making it seem like Austin Metcalf was extremely racist, and they had proof of it. There's no telling what his gamer tag was on Xbox or PlayStation. It probably was flat out racist. As far as Carmelo Anthony go, he was just looking for somebody to stab, and he found the perfect person. So what attracted these two boys towards each other? It was that inner hatred. They mirrored each other in hate. So much so to where they wanted to keep that out of the trial. So if you a person filled with hate and you want to do people wrong and you sick like that, you gonna be the victim either way, because it's coming straight towards you, man. This is just a prime example of how those type of things work. He's sitting in. I'm glad he in jail, man. What if he was out there on the streets? I don't know why they put all that makeup on that boy. Was he having plans on being a killer clown or something? Because this picture is confusing. It gives me chills every time I look at him. He looked like a killer. And his mother looked like a proud mother of a killer. And his father looked like he afraid of the whole damn family. Hey, it is what it is, you know. They put together this dream team. They figure, let's get whatever money we can get out of this thing. It's fun to them. As long as they're working. If there's a trial to be worked, even if it's some flat out BS and he may never get out of jail, but there's people willing to pay and there's ways to raise money for the trial, then hell, let's have at it. It ain't like he getting out of jail. I'm tripping off of the fact that they hit him with the 35. I mean, that's a little crazy. For a team, I know what he did was wrong, but 35 years, he gonna come out of jail walking with a cane. With a nappy ass head. And what he gonna have for him? What he gonna do 35 years from now? They're gonna walk him out with an AI bot. Welcome home, Karmelo. You don't have to work. I do everything. He gonna catch that robot putting glass shards in his eggs. I hate you for what you did to Austin. I have logic and reasoning, and I don't understand why the fuck you did what you did. That AI gonna choke him out in his sleep when he come home from jail. We just gotta wait and see, man. And if he do come home, that's good, I guess. If it'll make y'all happy, you know what I'm saying? That's all I care about. If y'all happy, I'm happy. If we happy, we happy. But as far as I'm concerned, I don't give a fuck, man. I just wanted to let y'all know that it's looking like he probably never coming home. And his parents are goofy because they wearing Believe Karmelo shirts knowing that he was texting that sick stuff, man. They need a shirt that say hashtag get Karmelo some help. He need to undergo psychiatric evaluation while he up in there. And if he want to shank up them inmates, have at it, bro. Look for the sex offenders and the people that did dirt just like you, and let them feel that damn sharpened toothbrush handle or however he gonna do it in there. I don't know. Do not let him work in the cafeteria. Because if they do that, he gonna be stashing forks, spoons. You gonna wake up with a spatula in your ass. We just gonna have to wait and see how this go, man. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about this in the comment section. Hit that like button and subscribe to this.
Risk my life to give you documentations, girl. I risk my life to give you documentations, girl. I risk my life to give you documentations, girl. I risk my life to give you documentations.